Hi, Charlie here. It's many people's dream to live in a mansion, but there are some mansions no one will buy for any price. Some have very haunting backstories, and others come with some crazy catches. The New Jersey Watcher Home. This ancient mansion is located in New Jersey, USA. It has everything any homeowner could ever want. There are 6 bedrooms, 4 baths, and 4 fireplaces. In the past decade, it was bought for $1.5 million. The buyers renovated the house, but never moved in. This is because they received many scary letters after buying the house. An anonymous person sent them many written letters saying that they were the house's watcher. He said his ancestors were hired as caretakers to the house in the 1920s. The scary letters became famous in the neighborhood and later on the entire country, and that's why the new owners haven't been able to sell this house. No one even wants to rent it because everyone who does gets these very scary letters. The identity of the watcher is still unknown today. Eventually, the buyers who never moved in spoke out on the Today Show. They said they're simply too scared and are still receiving letters to this day. They keep dropping the mansion price more and more, but no one will move in. You probably could not even pay someone to live there because it's simply too scary. Maybe one day the identity of the watcher will be revealed, but so far we have no idea who this is. The Montclair Mansion. Take a look at this mansion and ask yourself, is it worth $10? It's likely what you spend every day on lunch, but this house costs a measly $10. But if that's the case, why will no one buy this massive New Jersey mansion? Built in 1906, it is 4,000 square feet. It also has 6 bedrooms, but there's a serious catch. Whoever buys this mansion will have to move it somewhere else. You may be asking, what do you mean, move the mansion somewhere else? Well, the surrounding land of this property has been approved by a planning board for 8 new houses. But first, this house has to be bought and moved. You'll need to own the land where you're moving the house to, and also pay for any moving costs. These kind of moves can cost over $70,000. And NBC News even predicted it could cost over $200,000 to move the house. But is it worth it to own this mansion? If you already have some spare land, it's a pretty good deal, but most people don't. The house was designed by Dudley S. Van Antwerp, and it was also the home of a US football star and FBI agent Aubrey Lewis. The house has been on the market for a long time, but it seems that no one will buy it at any price. There's just way too many strings attached. Horror House. Almost anyone would love to live in a magnificent 5-bedroom Victorian mansion. This house is also on 2 acres of land. That's why many were confused as to why it simply was not selling. But when you hear what happened in this house, everything makes sense. In 2004, something terrible happened in the master bedroom of this mansion. Lawyer Christopher Lumsden took the life of his 53-year-old wife, Alison. He used a blade on Alison about 30 times. This was after she announced that she wanted to leave him. The house is located in Cheshire, UK. But today it's deserted, smashed with boarded up windows and tires piled up outside. Christopher only served 2 years in jail because he was found to be insane. The house price has dropped millions of dollars, but no one wants to buy. The tennis courts are now overgrown and locals say it's become an eyesore. Some are even worried that this place may be haunted. After all, someone did pass on inside the mansion. Sadly, the history of this house is far too tainted for anyone to want to buy it. Just imagine sleeping in this place knowing that something so terrible went on there. Charming Forge Mansion. This mansion was built in 1749 in Womelsdorf, Pennsylvania, USA. The house is a whopping 7,800 square feet. It has 7 bedrooms, 7 fireplaces, and even a carriage barn. Built on 48 acres of land, there's even a separate guest house made of stone. You may assume that many would buy this mansion for several $1 million. But unfortunately, no one wants to buy. The reason why is because it has a very haunted history. And I don't just mean someone thinks they saw a ghost here. Ever since the 1780s, people have reported ghosts. This includes the original owner, Henry William Stiegel. Ever since then, pretty much every owner has claimed a ghost haunts this mansion. Doors slam shut all by themselves. There's also a headless figure that roams around the property. In the top bedroom, a woman can be heard crying, and apparently cupboard doors open and close all by themselves. The so-called charming mansion clearly is way too scary for anyone to buy. It's also pretty old, meaning that the maintenance costs would be colossal. But would you buy this haunted mansion for the right price? The Conrad Aiken House. The childhood home of the famous American poet Conrad Aiken is going up for sale. But when Conrad was only a small boy, something happened in the house that changed his life forever. In the early morning hours of February 27, 1901, Conrad heard his parents arguing in their room. This was pretty normal for him, but then he heard two blasts. He ran into the room and found that his father had taken his mother's life and also his own life. Sadly, this left Conrad as an orphan. He was raised by an aunt, and in many of his poems, he talked about that terrible night. The 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom house is now up for sale. Located in Savannah, Georgia, it's a very charming house. But unfortunately, because of its dark history, no one wants to buy it. It seems no matter how low the price drops, no one wants it because of the famously terrible thing that happened there. Conrad wrote about it in many poems, which is why it's so famous. And like any house where something like this happens, many people report hauntings too. Granite Loma. Granite Loma is located along Lake Superior in Michigan, USA. It's actually the largest log cabin in the US. It sits on 5,000 acres of woodland, and the house itself is 26,000 square feet. The massive mansion has 23 bedrooms and 4 apartments inside. There's also a private marina and a huge hot tub too. But even after the sellers slashed the price by 50%, no one wants to buy. The mansion is also full of paintings and artifacts, which are bound to be worth a lot of money. So why does no one want this house? Well, the simple answer is it's in the middle of nowhere. The house is so remote and also old. This means it would likely have to be renovated as well. Also, most people don't want to live on an old-fashioned log cabin. Looking at a satellite image of this house, you can see nothing is anywhere near it. You'd pretty much need a helicopter to pick up your groceries. But if you love lakes, privacy, and old houses, then snap this up. Schweppe Mansion. This mansion is more like a palace. It's over 21,000 square feet and has 12 bedrooms. The Illinois mansion also has a 400-foot-long beach, and many royals, for example the Duke of Windsor, have actually lived there. A few years back, someone bought it and expensively and elaborately restored it. But unfortunately, no one wants to buy it. Over 10 years, there's been no takers and the price has dropped by 50%. It's been abandoned for 50 years and there's many haunting stories of this mansion. Both previous owners of this mansion passed away in it, with the husband taking his own life. Sightings include the ghosts of the couple. Also, some of their loyal servants apparently appear as ghosts. And this is something that prevents the house from selling today. But would you live in this cursed and maybe haunted palace? S.K. Pierce Mansion. This mansion is located in Gardner, Massachusetts. It's 6,700 square feet. It has impressive 11-foot tall ceilings and also 10 bedrooms. And much of the original woodwork from 1875 is still intact. The price of this mansion is very cheap and is dropping all the time. But the reason why no one wants to live in this 10-bedroom mega mansion is because it's one of the most haunted houses in the state. It's reported that 7 people have passed away in the property, and over the years there have been many unexplained things happening in this house. Things move all by themselves and inhuman noises have been heard. Sightings of ghosts of servants walking around have also been reported, and the house has also been featured on many paranormal activity TV shows. That's unlikely to help it when it comes to buyers. The fact is, people are simply too scared to live in this mansion, but would you for the right price? The Priestley House. The Priestley House is located in Canton, Mississippi. It was built by Dr. James Priestley in 1852. The Georgian-style mansion is gigantic and has its own parlor, music room, and library. It also has a swimming pool, an office, a terrace, and a greenhouse. It's been on the market for many years, but no one wants this fully furnished mansion. That's because there have been so many tales of hauntings in this house. Former owners claim that they've seen ghosts in the house. They've also heard scary voices and seen a woman-like figure walking around on the porch. It seems like this house is a steal, but maybe not. Even descendants of Dr. James Priestley say they've seen these ghosts. Pillars Estate. The Pillars Estate is a historic New York mansion. The 7,200 square foot house has 6 bedrooms and 5 baths. It also has a parlor, 5 fireplaces, and a library, and even a ballroom too. But it's been on the market for years and years. One reason is because any buyer would have to spend a lot on renovations. But workers have also claimed that they've seen several humans around this mansion. And I'm not talking about alive humans, I mean ghosts. The most common is a child of the former lady of the house. That's the last thing you want to encounter in an old, decrepit mansion. The Anne Starrett Mansion. In 1889, George Starrett built this amazing mansion. It's located in Washington, D.C. and has 11 bedrooms and 7 baths. The 5,800 square foot property also has an amazing view of the bay nearby. In the past, it's been used as a hotel, but eventually it was shut down. Since then, no one wants to visit, let alone buy it. That's because it's said that the Starrett couple and also some of their employees haunt this mansion. They reportedly roam the hallways and make scary noises at night. When it was a hotel, one guest review complained that wardrobes would open all by themselves. There would also be constant footstep sounds in the floorboards, even when no one was there. There's also a famous apparition inside this house called the Nanny. This woman appears in a mirror on the 2nd floor. But now it's time to make your voice heard. Comment below which of these mansions you would buy for $1, if any. But as always, thanks for watching. There are some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.